Sometimes a song can stop people in their tracks because it's big and bold and flashy. But then other songs become memorable after they sneak up on you. They're not bold, they're not flashy, they're quiet, they're understated. And many times it's these quiet songs that turn out to be the most powerful, maybe because they're real. Today we're going to be talking about one of those. I was in radio when this song came out, and most of us in the music business, we weren't exactly sure what to make of it. We were the people who were supposed to know what a hit song sounded like. This didn't sound like anything else. It wasn't big, it wasn't loud, it certainly didn't follow the rules. I guess you could say we didn't know where to put it. It didn't fit into any familiar boxes. And when something like that comes along, it's either a recipe for a flop or it makes for something unforgettable. This song falls into that second category. It was never a hit for the superstar pop singer who wrote it. In fact, it was 5 years later before it got this new cover treatment, one that stripped out the original version's groove and just let the emotion of it all spill out, including one very memorable tear. Today on Beyond the Tracks, we'll explore how raw emotion can be the catalyst for a hit song and how it can make an unknown artist suddenly world famous. I'm Dom Testa. In 1985, it would be hard to find a performer who was a bigger star than Prince. He already had multiple hit albums under his belt, half a dozen top 10 songs in just 2 years, and a movie soundtrack that to this day is one of the most important collections of songs ever recorded.
Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain.
And this guy was prolific. It's hard to estimate how many songs he actually wrote, since many of them exist in unreleased form in this vault that he originally kept at his Paisley Park estate. A conservative estimate, maybe 3,000 to 4,000 songs. It's probably not far off. There are some people who say it might be as many as 8,000 songs. As one person said, he not only wrote hits, he sometimes hid them. One of those songs has a bit of a murky background. No one knows exactly who he wrote it for, like who he was thinking of. One popular theory is that it was written for his housekeeper, who'd been forced to leave after her father passed away. And people close to the singer say he wrote it quickly, really quickly, which was not unusual for him. As the person in charge of the Prince archives said, the song came out like a sneeze. Not a very glamorous description for a song with so much heart and soul invested in it. Prince gave the song to his side project. It was a funk group called The Family. They recorded it, but it was never released as a single. I think it's fair to say few people were ever even aware of the song. But now, fast forward 5 years. It's 1990, and an Irish singer somehow came across the song. She was only 23 years old, but had already had a challenging life, including a very complicated, downright painful relationship with her mother. It's interesting because the first time you hear this song, the lyrics might have you convinced it's all about a romantic relationship. And yet Prince, allegedly, had his housekeeper in mind, and now this young Irish singer may have been thinking about her mother. Regardless of the inspiration, she wound up recording a stripped-down version of the song. In his demo recording from 1984, Prince delivered a more groove-driven track, and the version produced by the family was more jazz-driven. It even featured a saxophone solo. But this new cover, it was different. It was very understated, with a plush string arrangement and lots of space for her vocals. Those vocals really are the centerpiece. Almost, I guess you could say, confrontational in their intimacy. Her delivery, combined with the deep emotional content of the lyrics themselves, created an emotional gut punch. You might even call it an emotional earthquake. This was clearly what the song needed, and it caught fire almost immediately. It reached number 1 on the charts in more than a dozen countries, including the US, where it occupied the top spot for a full month. And just like that, the decade of the 90s already had one of its defining songs. On top of that, there was the music video. Again, a cultural touchstone for the decade. Now, MTV had been around less than 10 years, but it was helping some performers make giant leaps. If the artistry of the work either entertained an audience with its clever style, there were quite a few noteworthy examples of those, or if the video connected with the audience on an emotional level, like this one. As sparse visually as the song is musically, the video is dominated by the singer's face, a tight close-up. It leaves no room for any distractions. You see every ounce of hurt coming through. And toward the end, something unplanned happened that sealed the video's legacy. A tear that rolls down her face, then another. She said later she never intended for that to happen. It just did. It was something real, something you couldn't fake. Her mother had recently passed away, and in an interview, the singer admitted that her mother had been on her mind while recording this clip. You know, you could say this smash hit single changed the singer in some ways. I mean, it gave her artistic freedom to produce music her way. You sit at number 1 for a month, that tends to give you a bit of clout. But it also didn't change her. She continued to express her feelings in ways that didn't always sit well with some people. She had her share of controversial moments in her life. The song earned her a Grammy, an award she refused to accept because, as she put it, the Grammys represented, quote, false and destructive materialistic values. It's still the only time that's ever happened in the history of the Grammys. Here she is at the height of her success when most artists are chasing after validation. She refused it. Her career had some highs and lows after this song's explosion, but nothing else ever came close to capturing the public's attention the way this one did. And after battling her share of demons through the years, she passed away in 2023, and she was only 56. Now that we've gone beyond the tracks, let's reveal this song. The one that had been written years earlier by Prince, recorded once and largely forgotten, until someone came along, stripped it down, slowed it down, and let every ounce of emotion spill out of it. The song is Nothing Compares to You, and the voice is Sinead O'Connor.
I know that living with you, baby, was sometimes hard.
Oh, that video. I've seen it a dozen times or more, and those tears at the end, that moment did not come across as a performance. It was more like something you weren't supposed to see, if that makes sense. The song and that first teardrop might be one of the earliest viral emotional moments in MTV history, before the word viral even existed in that sense. You know, it's interesting, Prince at first did not embrace this version of his song by Sinead O'Connor, despite its massive success. There are reports that he and Sinead did not exactly hit it off. She described their meeting as a complete clash of personalities. In later years, Prince would finally record and release his own version of the song, and he began to perform it live. It was even one of the songs he played at his last concert, 1 week before his death in 2016. I've created another Spotify playlist for this episode of Beyond the Tracks. It's number 6. It includes Sinead O'Connor's version, along with a version from Prince, plus I'll include some other songs by Sinead and by Prince. Like the song, it'll be a rather stripped down playlist. You'll find a link to it in the description below, and I'll also show you where to find one of Prince's live performances of Nothing Compares to You. Coming up next time, I've got a terrific story about one of the most well-known love songs of all time and how it was recorded by a virtual unknown in the music world, someone who battled a speech disorder for much of his life. But it's not so much the story of how the song became a hit. It's more about what this singer-songwriter was doing to make a living while recording his first album, and how he wasn't sure he should give up that career even after this song became a top 5 Billboard hit, because as he put it, the music world is pretty fickle. And he was right. That's next time. Subscribe to Beyond the Track so you never miss an episode, and be sure to share this with friends who also enjoy the stories behind music. Thank you for your time. I'm Dom Testa.